Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great Wednesday, soon to be Thursday, depending on where in the world you live. I just wanted to send out my dearest sympathies to the Jordan family as Donna Jordan passed away a few days ago. She was a wonderful quilt designer. Many years I watched her, and it was an inspiration to me how she did her quilts. It was such an inspiration, and I hope everybody continues to be inspirations to the community, even though we've lost a very valuable person to our quilting community. The main reason for the video is, other than the deepest sympathies to the family of Donna Jordan, I've been working on the mystery quilt for Cali and Company. I'm not able to give you the pattern. It is free. You just have to go to the website and download the pattern. This is the first one. I've not done any of the other blocks. There's 3 of them. But here's the first one. I would say it would be beginner friendly, because it just has, it just has the 4 patch. They're on the corners. These have square triangles. There's 2, 4, 6, 8 of them. I mean, you really wouldn't, even if you got the pattern, you really wouldn't have to follow it exact. You can make these any size. And then these are just slashes, and then this is, these corners start out as a big square, and they're called a sew and flip, and this is what it looks like. And then I was sitting here going, well, I'm going to start on another block in that mystery. There's 3 of them so far. I don't want to get too far behind. And then I'm doing like 3 or 4 other mystery. The other 2 are not really mysteries, the end. Some of them are just blocks of the month. But then I was sitting here going, and then I was looking at my cell phone, because my other cell phone had an issue, and I had to get a new one. It kind of popped open, and I had it taped, and it finally popped. It's like, okay, time to get a new one. Well, there's all kinds of ways to make. You can purchase them. Some of the cases are rather expensive, and I thought, I don't really need a case. I don't pack it anywhere. What I'm fixing to show you isn't something if you pack your phone around, because it could still get crushed. It's not designed for impact. I mean, you can make it be that way by putting cardboard inside of it, or there's a ton of great channel providers out there that will show you how to make a quilted cell phone cover. But I wanted something very simple that I could do just really quick. A while back, I wanted to make some washable paper towels, and I thought, okay, and so I had some flannel, and I just made, these are washable paper towels, and it's made out of flannel, and these are 10 by 9. I decided that's the size I wanted, and I just, as you can see, I just just cut it. Didn't care whether it was actually straight, because it didn't matter, because these were used to clean with. And then you just throw them in the washing machine or wash them in the sink. And again, it's made out of flannel, and I have several different colors. And then if you look back here, what I did is I took the center out of the paper towel holder, and I just wrapped these around it, and then when I want a new one, but because they're flannel, they'll stick to each other. But I thought, okay, I don't need nothing fancy for my cell phone. I have these paper towels, recycled paper towels. And I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. My phone will fit in there. So this is what I came up with. My cell phone just went off. And it's a little bag for my cell phone. I didn't do anything fancy. Let me turn it inside out for you so you could see. I did absolutely nothing fancy. There's no, I didn't really hem any seams. Just real simple. You just got to make sure your phone fits in whatever size. See, and I just folded the, since I can get it, I just folded the end over like this. I just folded the end over like that. See how it's folded over like that. Then I went, folded it in half, right sides together, and I took and sewed a fairly large seam here on this one. As you can see, these sides are the same, these pieces are exactly the same, and I just took a big hem and then I trimmed it off and I sewed on the bottom, and then where the corners are, I cut those corners, catty corner, like this, so it's easier to turn. And then, like again, because it's made out of flannel, and I just top stitched it from when it was a washable paper towel, and then you just turn it inside out. If I can grab a hold of it, you just push the corners out, and you can use things to push it out. I happen to have a, I don't really know what this is. I think it probably, from when I do my nails, it's probably one of the little things that, I think that's what it is, because one end's really pokey and the other one's kind of cute, kind of sideways. But you just don't want to use anything that's going to poke too hard. And I don't like sticking my fingernails in there because I've been known to poke a hole through it. So you just kind of poke out the sides, or use fingers if you don't use your fingers if you don't have a little length of nail. And just see how you make the sides stick out. Then I just finish turning it in like this. I mean, and you could, if you wanted to, put a strap on it, but I didn't see no reason, for my own purposes, didn't see no reason for it, because with my phone, I just don't like it dusty. I don't even like touching it with my fingers. This is with my phone, of course, and it just kind of slides right in there. I just slide my phone right in there, and ta-da! And it's in there. Of course, it's on. And it still allows me to get to it. See, I just turned it off. It allows me to still get to the buttons, and of course I have a Bluetooth, so I don't need to see the phone. My phone tells me who's calling or the phone number. But just simple little thing that you could do. I mean, you can get real fancy if that's what you want to do. I just don't see any reason to get super fancy, because it was just something I just didn't want. I just didn't want it getting dusty. I don't like my phone dusty, and it's rare that I leave my house. And this would be just fine to stick in my purse, just to go to town. It just keeps it from getting dusty. And if you wanted to, you could put a little snap, put a button, or you could have made this longer. I could have made it longer and done it across the top, put a little button with a what works if you're going to do that, what works great is like taking a rubber band that you put in your hair, one of those little rubber bands, and you just kind of sew it to one side and then hold it across. And you can either cut the rubber band. I wouldn't recommend it because then it starts fraying, but you could just sew it to the underneath side of here, and then you just put it across, and that seals it. But for me, I just put it up there because I don't want to get in dusty. I don't want to get in fingerprints. I know it's a cell phone, right? But no, I don't touch the screen. I have a stylus for that. I have a stylus as yeah, excuse me. Sorry. Oh, the allergies, which a lot of people are experiencing those allergies. They're bad. And I'm going to get some lights in here. This is, I only have one light, and I don't always film this during the day. And I don't get much light through that window. Sorry about that. So it makes it look like, I don't know, like I have really super dark eyes, and I don't. It's just the lights because it's right there. And I'm trying to figure out how to get more lighting in here. But that's what I'm doing. And I've been just coming up with things to do, keep my mind occupied, which is, you know, what most of us do. If we don't work, it's a matter of, many of us are in the same situations. We don't have, this is our family, this is our community, and we have the best community. I love watching everybody, what you're doing. It fascinates me, because I'm sitting here going, oh, look at how they did that, and I'm like, how did they do that? And I'll rewind it again. How did they do that? And sometimes, you know, the patterns they cost a little bit, but you have to remember, it takes a lot to make a pattern on a paper, and then make whatever you're doing from that pattern, and realize, oh, I gotta adjust the pattern. Or such as a couple of the other quilt along stuff that people are doing. The person, I don't remember which one that was, but it's the one that's she produces one every week, and it's like on weeknight. I don't remember, I'm sorry. But it's not really a mystery block, it's a sampler block. And the blocks are fairly large. They're not tiny like the 365 quilt. And the 365 quilt, I would recommend anybody that can do it to do it, especially if you're a beginner sewer, because some of the blocks are small, but it gives you a really, really good background on how to do different blocks, and it's very, very informative. Like, especially if you're new to sewing, or even if you're not, there's some types of techniques that people just have never done, such as it might seem so easy to sew 3 strips together, but yet if those strips are not cut correctly, the 3 strips sewn together comes out all wonky because they're cut on the bias, or such things as, when is the correct time to make sure seams are sewed open, or to the left, or to the right, or when you're making half square triangles, there's sometimes you want to iron them with the seams open. Most of the time you're ironing them so that the seams when you're ironing it, it's to the dark. But in a case where, what if you have 2 dark fabrics? So it's, in cases like that, when both fabrics are dark, I usually just iron them open. Or I find the darkest of the 2 dark fabrics, and I just iron it towards that. I found that if I iron with the seams open, it seems to create a situation where those seams have more of a chance of coming apart than if you sew one side or the other. And then, you know, there's a lot of people that, but the 365, all the little blocks, they go through techniques. I mean, and the technique might be one block. I believe there's one block, and again, they're small blocks, but the whole block is learning how to make the half square triangles, and it's a good practice. Half square triangles are not my favorite. There's some things I don't mind doing. One, I don't like the flying geese. However, it's not that I don't like them, it just, they don't seem to come out like I want them to. So I had to figure out a way in which the flying geese come out like they're supposed to, instead of being lopsided. And it was a matter of, even though people were showing me, it just wasn't clicking in my head, because there's one detail I forgot. When you do one side of the flying geese, you must iron that side, and then the other one comes on top of it. That's where you get your point. And it's just little details that we sometimes miss, and it's like, and then all of a sudden you get it, and I'm like, oh, I could do this. But it's just, that's what they, like the sampler quilt blocks are all about. It's the techniques that go into making the quilt. It's just little things to show that, look what I done. And me, I just don't like making those tiny ones. But I encourage everybody to at least check them out. I may make some of the blocks, but I'm not going to make mine that small. I just don't. I can't see, like making a half square triangle that is an inch. It's just, it's like, no. And then they're easy to lose. My dog took off with it. When I dropped it on the floor, and before I could get it, he took off with it, and then he was running around the house with this little tiny half square triangle and doing this. It's like, seriously? Give me my fabric back. And he was just having fun. He just thought it was great because I was trying to catch him, and I don't walk so fast. And he'd walk a little bit, wait for me, shake it up and down. It's like, seriously, Puppy, give me my fabric back. And then he brings it back into my craft room, and he has a habit of, he's sleeping over there on the floor. He has a habit of, he don't really play with toys, but he does. He has specific ones, and he don't like anything squeaky. He looks at it like this, and he wants nothing to do with it. But he's got a couple that he thinks are his, and if one of the other cats or whatever tries to get him, he don't get mad. He just picks it up and then packs it around. He just packs it around the house. It's like, seriously, gets on the bed, tries to hide it under the pillows, and then another dog will get it. Zelina, she gets it, and of course he doesn't fight with her. He just holds on to it, and she's a lot smaller than he is, and it's quite funny because he'll let her just get enough of it, and she gets on the end of the bed, and then he pulls and then lets go, and she goes falling off the bed. And it's hilarious. It's like human children. They're silly. And then she gets all mad at him, and he runs away, and then of course he's the one that he doesn't always look where he's going. It's like he's looking to see if something's chasing him, and he'll run into the wall. Sometimes I feel sorry for him. It's like, seriously? Or he gets up, and most animals, they like, when they go to turn around, they kind of like fold. He doesn't. He does a whole body turn, and he usually bangs his head on the side of the door. Over here, there's a closet right there. And then it goes to a corner behind the door. And almost every time, he'll go and he'll turn his body and smack the side of his nose on the corner of the wall. And I'm like, and I have to tell him, Putty Judge, just to make sure he didn't get a bloody nose. And he'll come, and he's got his head down, and he's a whining. It's like, seriously? You're whining? It's not my fault you smacked your nose on the wall. But he's just funny. And one of the quilts I made in a couple of videos ago, it had the real strange orange binding. That's who got that quilt. He don't want the other dogs touching it. They all have quilts. They all have 2 or 3. And it was on the bed, and he just, I guess because it was small, he put his nose under it, and then crawled on it, and then jumped off the bed, and he was walking around with that quilt, and it's like, seriously. And anybody that would come near him, he would back up, and of course he's a Shar-Pei, so which it's like it's a Chinese wrinkle dog, and he doesn't have much of the wrinkles anymore because he's going on 2, even though he's got 3 more years of growth he's got to go to. But he's just funny because in some of the videos, he's the white Shar-Pei. He's got a coat on right now. He gets cold. The Shar-Peis don't have, their hair is real thin. They don't shed at all. So they're one of the few dogs that don't shed because they don't have, his hair is like, well, it reminds me of a new puppy. How their hair is all like fuzzy, and especially on top of their head. Their hair is like super, super fuzzy like, and you can't comb it. You actually can see through their fur to their skin. And he's a white dog, but his skin is got black circles. And I always tell him, what are you, a part Dalmatian too? And he gets embarrassed when you tell him that. He puts his head down, puts his butt down, and he goes walking away. Yeah, I guess it's he's just funny. It's kind of like the brown Shar-Pei that I have. Her name is Petunia, but I call her Duna with a D, and she's got wrinkles on her face still. And you know, the Shar-Pei wrinkles, and like our bull mastiff, his wrinkles are there, and as he gets older they'll get more. He's got them on his legs, and I'm always telling Duna, you know, you need to get Botox. Oh, she yips at me and makes a funny noise and runs around in circles and, get over here, I'm giving you Botox. Yeah, she's funny because she does. She's all wrinkly faced, big old wrinkles, and they're funny. She does. I don't hurt her, but it's like, get over here, we're gonna battle Botox. And she'll come over there. She doesn't shake, but she'll give high five, and she puts both of her feet and does that while she's sitting on her butt. And she'll go tick, 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 and then she waits for me to do it back. And it's like, you know what, you're gonna fall over doing that. And the one day she did. She went tick, tick, and fell over backwards, and then she looked at me like if I did it. It's like, I didn't touch you. But they're funny. They develop. I don't know if it's all animals, but mine, I always seem to get the ones that, are you sure you're a dog or you're a cat? Because you're acting awful lot like a human. Because it's kind of like the one black and white cat that I have that is so old that he has only one tooth. I actually cook him breakfast a lot. and I'm like, seriously, who cooks their cat breakfast at 3 o'clock in the morning? And it's usually, and I don't mind doing it because he is so old and I'm trying to keep his weight up. So I contacted the vet, and he doesn't really have a special diet, as opposed to certain nutrients I give him extra, such as I will not give him raw egg, and the vet said under no circumstances give him raw egg because of his age, and no milk. He was fixed years ago, and when you give a male cat milk, they can get gallstones. So, but he gets cooked eggs, and I buy it. It's a bacon. It's Oscar Mayer's Black Label bacon, but it is pre-cooked. So when you buy it, it's cooked. You could eat it right out of the package. And I just and he loves it. And I just break it up in little pieces, and then I add some olive oil and some flaxseed, which you can buy crushed flaxseed, and some other things I add to it, some coconut something, and then along with, sometimes I will add sardines, and I just mix it and cook it together. And then I take a potato, put it in my food processor thing, and make shredded potatoes, and I cook it all together. And he eats it. Of course, he doesn't eat a lot, but he does eat enough to where his belly gets full, and it's nutritious what's in there. Sometimes I put kale or spinach. I can't remember one of them. One of them you can't give to cats. And it's just I try to keep, and I do with the eggshells. I don't throw them away. When I crack the egg, I keep the egg, and then I put it in the oven and let the oven bake it, and then I ground it up, and that becomes calcium. And it's very good for all animals. It's good for humans as well. But it's not like it's crunchy, because when you bake it in the oven, it becomes crunchy, and then I put it in my food processor. You can use, you can use a rolling pin or crunch it that way. It just, it's a food processor. I call it one. It pretty much does everything, including making butter. But you could put it in a blender, or I also have one of those manual. What would you do? You chop onions. I use my food processor, but just anything, you chop it up real fine, and you make it almost a powder out of it, and then just kind of sprinkle it on the food. Flaxseed is good for dogs, cats. I buy it's flaxseed, but it's like super fine. Salt is coarser than this stuff, and that's just what I do. But it's just funny because he's usually in here making lots of noise every time he sees or hears the videos coming. He will come in and hair in my ear bugs me. He will come in and start making that noise, and if I don't pay attention, he will get loud, and he talks. So again, my dearest sympathies go out to the Jordan family, and I really hope for the bestest wishes, as I know that the quilting community will dearly miss Donna. Thank you, everybody. Hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you all in the channels. Bye bye.